because he always was that actual red man defending.
I think it's like
Oh, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. Are we live? Can everyone hear me? I hope you can. People, Deluded, I'm back again. As usual, thank you very much for joining me each and every time. Twitch gang, one love to you lot because we were just together. Make sure you're following me on Twitch, people. Typically go live on Twitch before YouTube. Again, YouTube gang, hit the like button for me. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. We've got a jam-packed day of content. We just done a 10 a.m. stream. We're here till whenever. Head over to Twitch at 2:30. I'll have my guy Matisse. I love the guy to bits. I don't like the team he supports, but yeah, we're going to be previewing Chelsea Arsenal. And at 7:30 across Twitch and YouTube, I'm going to be doing a live stream watch along basically for Liverpool Manchester United. So make sure you're hitting the like button on those videos. Make sure you've hit the like button on this. Now, as usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, having a good start to this week and moving that much closer to their goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, and just overcoming hardship. Can't do any of that without health, people. If you ain't got health, you're dead. So I'm wishing you and your loved ones and all of them sort of things continued good health, man. And yeah, let's hope that there's more congratulations and them things there and less hardship going on in everyone's life. So yeah, in relation to Arsenal, boy, what do we say, people? Where are we at? You know, potential 9 points from our last 3 games, grand total of 0, real big possibility of a potential 12 points on the line, got none, which would be a bitter blow to any Champions League and actually at this moment in time, Europa League things as well, because we're flirting with not getting into Europe full stop now and we need to turn around. I hope the romance in me, the romantic in me, little part of me is hoping that somehow we do the business at the bridge tomorrow and then somehow on Saturday we do well, get a big 6 points, we get back to where we was. But that's all Disneyland, isn't it? I don't know about any of that. We've got underperforming strikers, 2 of them actually coming out and doing interviews now. Shout out to the Beautiful Game podcast. Go and check them out. But all I do is see my strikers talking. If you lot talked on the field, you lot might have new deals or your futures might be sorted. You're always chatting like Bedinas. You know, one's got flipping fight at, you know, your Atlanta stripping merchant. But away from any of that, you know, it is what it is. Can't lie, you know. Let me know your opinions. Any questions, get them in, people. I don't know where we're going with this stream. I'll be real with you. Transfer news is on the floor. Chelsea, Arsenal. I don't want to bore you lot. We're the business end of the season. I could sit here and waffle about how big of a game it is and, you know, the pressure on Arteta, the pressure on the players, the fight for Europe. All of these things are true. All of these things are relevant. But we know this. Like, there's only a couple of games left. We know we've got it all to do. You know, our form's on the floor. Our performances across the last few games have not been good enough. You know, Chelsea is not going to be an easy task, especially away from home. We haven't done too well at Stamford Bridge or just in general away from home or against the top 4 to 6 sides, which we've got 2 of them in our next 2 games. Underperforming players, over-reliance on young players, question marks over the gaffer, question marks over the direction of the club. Same old where Arsenal are concerned, people. So what can you say in relation to the Chelsea game, people? You know, again, lose and there's pressure. Because I've said it before, if Arteta gets top 4, he deserves a new deal. If he gets top 5 to 6, probably will get a new deal. It's probably in line with what we're going with. If you finish 7th, 8th, he probably won't lose his job, but it needs to be gone in it. We're Arsenal FC, we're not Arteta FC. When he's doing well, deserves a lot of the praise. When you're doing bad, just like that, we need to get onto them once again, really, really, really and truly. It is what it is. And, you know, we're Arsenal FC, we're not Arteta FC. Again, if he's doing what he's supposed to do in line with his objectives, then fair enough. But this can't become work experience. You know, there needs to be tangible goals at the end of the season. And if you do not get Europe in any capacity, I'm not even talking Conference League, there has to be question marks. Anything below top 6, Arteta has to. Like, you have to be serious and keep it moving. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, there's no excuses for it. Ultimately, it falls on the manager. We can keep sitting here and say, oh, and say, oh, you know, it's the players. It's that this is his squad. Whether he's bought these players or not, he's bet on this. Naively or not, we bet on this. You know, when the sun was shining and Barca were doing well, Aubameyang was doing well, Arsenal and individuals were doing well, we said it was a brave decision. But we all know it doesn't. The sun doesn't shine forever. It doesn't rain forever. You know, if we had rain, we wouldn't appreciate the sunshine and vice versa. We knew there was going to be a flip of the hat. We knew these young players were not going to be able to perform at total. So we're going to look at our striker to score goals. We knew a lot of these things were going to come back to hurt us. As much as, you know, there's variables out of our control and they're, I wouldn't say overachieving, but we're still in with a talk of top four. We have self-inflicted and shot ourselves in the foot. We have not turned up in our last 3 games. We didn't help ourselves in the summer or January with transfers for whatever reason. We've made our bed, so we've got a lie in it, really and truly. Like it. Yeah. What are you gonna say, man? Like, what are you gonna say, really and truly? I'm seeing Lacazette interviews, the Arsenal way culture reviews coming apparently. The thing is, they will keep Arteta as he does not hassle the board. That's the truth in that. Lacazette should not start again this season. I hear it, but then reality is who else is gonna play, bro? Like, we ain't got a wealth of options, respectfully. You know, we're in trouble, really. Big trouble, mate. Big trouble. Appreciate you tuned in from America. Come on. Man said, would you take a draw at the bridge? Yeah, obviously it don't help us, but yeah, it's better than losing. Like, I'll take a point from the bridge on the best of days, of course. But Chelsea are going to be looking at his way, you know. That's 3 points there. Just like Brighton, just like Southampton, just like Palace. That's 3 points there. If they can't beat Southampton out, they can't beat us, is what I'll be saying, you know. I don't know for Arteta against Tuchel tactically. I don't know what's that going to say, man for man. No matter what I know there's question marks over certain Chelsea players, but boy, you know, they're recent European champions, so you're going to have to react and whatnot. So I don't know. I have little hope, but I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. I don't think anyone can blame me. What am I supposed to get behind, really, when people are disillusioned? We're over-relying on young players. And I feel sorry. I've said it before. I feel sorry for the young players. I feel sorry for Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka. 3 players who probably should have scored at least in last game. And for Smith Rowe, since he's come back from injury, he's had clear-cut chances to score. First 16 to 20 minutes against Southampton, the 2 Highlanders should have scored in Saka and Smith Rowe. Martinelli and Saka. Smith Rowe in general, but they're learning to score goals. You know, to become a goal scorer, you've got to be doing it for years. Salah, Ronaldo, Kane, Aubameyang, the man, they were doing it for years. These men are learning to score goals. So I can't really be surprised when they're missing chances. Gabriel and Ben White, even though they're slightly more experienced, I can't be surprised when their age is being highlighted and throughout the team. You know, we knew we're over-relying on young players, and when they're not doing it, our experienced players are shaky. You know, and some of these guys just don't have it in them, really. So it's a mazza, really, you know, the way we're moving, it's self-inflicted among everything, you know. It's obviously been highlighted even more with injuries to key players and a lack of quality depth and a lack of full-out plan and really a lack of adaptability to people, you know. We need a scummy win. Why not, man? I want to see Pepe and Cedric on the right-hand side. Fuck it, man. At this point, who deserves to play, really, man? I don't know what needs to happen, man. Arsenal needs to win. Trust for any hope of top 4. Crazy, man. I really want to see Martinelli down the middle. Have no clue why this has not happened yet. Scott, trust. Your thoughts on the lineup versus Chelsea? I'll be real. I don't know, man, because is Lacazette going to be about? Is he over the COVID thing? I don't know what he's on. Like, but part of me, well, how many goals have we shipped in the last few games? You might as well go to 3 at the back, man. That might give us a bit more confidence. I don't know, man. Let's draw for the tactics, Paul. I don't know, because a part of me, just how I am in life, like I'm a fighter in it. Like no matter how peak it gets, I'm a fighter in it. So I don't really like the whole waving the white flag and that. No matter how, like it's a bit of a stubborn one. No matter how peak it looks, no matter how difficult it looks, no matter we probably might get punched up. I still want to go out there and do it. Like I have a real. I can accept that Chelsea can beat us, but I can't accept defeat. As I keep saying, it's how we lose. I think it was too easy in the last 3 games. You didn't, Crystal Palace, buzzing, confident, rowdy. You know how it gets in South London at Selhurst Park. We didn't react to that. Brighton thought we could just turn up and the footballing gods would just bless us because we've been on a winning run and we dropped points. nothing. Toothless against Southampton, you know, inability to score, flat, all of them things there. So I don't know what we're on. So in relation to the lineup against Chelsea, I don't know what are Chelsea going to go with, a 4 or a 3? It probably wouldn't even matter really, because they're probably going to have the lion's share of possession and dominate proceedings. So in terms of the lineup, boy, part of me is thinking, you know what, is it a back 3 thing? Slap Ramsdale there, obviously. Sorry, wrong one. Slap Ramsdale there, go with the wing backs. You could go with a 3-4-3. In fact, let's bring them all a bit closer still. Could it be a 3? Even that, I'm not comfortable with it, but a 3-4-3. If Laka's not there, then it's a bit dead. But I just feel this is you'd have to probably end up dropping someone. You know, you'd end up dropping someone, which probably would be Martin Odegaard, really. But a part of me feels, do you know what? Let me try a thing, people, quickly. Let me try something quick. Because now that Now, again, this is a risk, and for me, you'd have to commit to playing it, commit to being brave, no matter how much Chelsea score against you and whatnot. Because Chelsea's defense ain't amazing; they're better than us, but Chelsea do concede goals. It's going to be a physical test. Rudiger's a good defender. They got quality all over. Reece James, etc., etc. So it is something to consider. And I know you ain't been fit. You could get either, to be fair, it could be Odegaard in there as well, but I think you might have to drop someone for this to bang. And the thing is, I don't see him. He's not dropping Odegaard, so this ain't gonna happen, people. And I'm not saying Odegaard needs to be the right thing to drop, but I don't see him doing that. And then obviously, Gabriel, Benjamin White, Mr. Holding. That might be my first port of call. You know, obviously, you know what? We all know that's Ramsdale, but his name's not there. So part of me thinks this, innit? Get the Haylanders over there, get the Haylanders over there. Obviously, Reece James is on the right-hand side. That's Spilicueta if he plays. I'd play Alonso if I was Chelsea, because he's gonna, if I'm looking at Chelsea, if I'm a Chelsea, like every team, not to make it about Cedric, but if I am Chelsea and I'm not, the first port of call is Cedric. The whole defense, but Cedric. Just because even when Cedric has a good game, he's always in the trenches. If you do not get, Aspilicueta is not going to ask him too many questions consistently. I would play Alonso. I would get things going down that left-hand side, whether that's Werner, whether that's Havertz. We know what we're going to expect. They're going to play a back 3. They're going to, if they back 3 or 4, you're going to have Havertz in the false 9. Maybe Lukaku plays, but Havertz is there. Pulisic is there. Mount's there. They've got technical players who are good in tight spaces that can present problems. The only thing is, Chelsea give you a lot of chances before they actually score. So take heed of that. You need to win your individual battles. I don't see him doing this. You could force Odegaard out wide and then make it like Odegaard, you kind of do the narrow thing while Saka provides the width. Xhaka surveil that. Lokonga the lone 6 and them things there. That could kind of work. But I only went with that because I just feel in the back 3, the easiest one is to slot in Saka as a wing back. Smith Rowe, obviously, ability to play off that left. Martinelli pressing, Pepe opportunity to do his thing, decent relationship. But again, for that, you need to commit. You can't go there with an inferiority. Football's football, innit? Brentford at Stamford Bridge didn't go there thinking like that, and they got some rewards for it, really and truly. So we'll have to see that. Really, we'll have to see what's going on in that regards. What's YouTube telling me? Sorry, people. YouTube telling me about my title. Violates some laws. You knew it was to say it's make or break for Arteta. All right, fair enough. But anyways, yeah, as you can see, that will be the first protocol. If Arteta loses his next 2 games, he has to go 5 losses in a row. He has to go 5 losses in a row is unacceptable. Charles. Saka needs the AF left back DG. Hear that? I feel like if we lose, then use the rest of the season as preseason. Boy, shout out the Americans locked in as well. Yeah, I think he should play up front against Chelsea with Pepe on the left and Saka on the right. Man, we should play a back 3 at the back. This team has already played like this, and it got us through the line through against the likes of City and Liverpool when we won the FA Cup, which is true. Holding plays better as a 3 as well. Only way we can make him somewhat useful. We need to use our heart and get some fire in our belly, stop being bottle jobs and just go for it. Stephen, tell him again. But again, the players have to make peace with the fact that you've been poor and go again. Would you play Saka left wing back potentially? As you could see here, there's every opportunity for him to do that. But that's the first one. I don't really like 3-4-3. I'll be real with you, lot people. I prefer, and there's no Lacazette. So maybe you make Odegaard do it. I prefer this. I prefer 3-5-2. And then you make your centre back split, centre forward, split and press. But then obviously there's gonna have to be chops and changes in that regard. I'd still play Saka there, but that would probably mean, there's no. You could go with Eddie. I wouldn't want to do that. If Lacazette's fit, as poor as he is, and despite the fact him being one Badina and just chatting, I'd probably go with him. But then I'd probably flip the script if I'm complete. Pepe could do it, to be fair with you. This is where the problems really come from, because a part of me, Odegaard can just slip in there, or you could make him a false 9, and then because Chelsea are likely to dominate possession. And in reality, you're dropping deeper. Martinelli can do that, but then he's the only outlet, really. And then you're going to rely on the left-hand side. So I probably would. Do you know what? Fuck it, man. Your ability to run as well, Eddie, is something that could be of benefit to us. And then obviously Smith Rowe. I do think this is one of the games, unless a madness happens, it's either you or Odegaard. If it's 3 at the back, I probably prefer that, as much. If Lacazette's fit, then as shit as Laka is, I'd probably pick Laka for Eddie. I do like the fact that, do you know what is Eddie's got the legs in it. Oh my God, we're in a dangerous territory. Pause. We're in a dangerous territory. I'm praising which strikers for just being able to run. Bars on the floor, man. But Eddie, Martinelli, the only thing is Laka's ineffective off the bench unless it's game from you. So I'm probably of something like this, really. Obviously, if you get another thug in the middle, you could probably throw El Nene there, but then we're not creating, and we need to hit them at some point. If it's back 4 settings, then obviously Ramsdale, the 2 centre halves in Gabriel and Ben White. Ben White, I need a performance from you. Unfortunately, Cedric, Tavares might as well do it. Well, if it's adapting, then do you know what? I don't know from Lacazette's fitness. Apparently, he weren't in training yesterday, so I don't know. But my suspicion is that he plays. But I'd probably just, Pepe or Saka either side. I don't really care, man. Just try a thing, man. Just have a flipping go. I mean, Odegaard, I need a performance, man. You've been missing. I'll be real. You're not alone. The whole team's been underperforming. Smack the like button if you're on YouTube, by the way. And don't forget, people. Well, no one's hit the like button. I've really no mates for real. But yeah, anyways, on YouTube, people, hit the like button. We've got Liverpool, Man United watch-alongs to be dealing with. We're already doing that, which is weird. But again, tomorrow, we're grand total of no one. Hey, I've hit my own like button. Watch-along business. That's on Twitch as well. But yeah, getting back to this. Self-explanatory. It kind of picks itself, really, by default, really. Like, I don't know for on any his fitness levels, but a part of me wants to consider him. You throw in Cedric, because obviously Saka's out there. Go with Tavares. Yeah, I don't think we have a chance. I'll be real. Regardless of what we do, I'm really not up for this game. Can't lie to you lot, people. I'm really struggling to be up for it. But it could be adapting. Smith Rowe and Odegaard's pretty debatable. You could slap Pepe, Saka and Pepe, swap sides. And again, I do want to see you swap sides a lot more. So I don't know, man. That might be something to consider ever so slightly. We're at 45 likes on YouTube, people. Can we keep running that up? So yeah, man. Arteta has given himself a hell of a job. He has, man. Big up, DG. Hope you're good, Geese. What do you think this culture overhaul the Arsenal way is about? I swear this will happen when Arteta first came in. To be fair, we spoke about that yesterday. You're right. Arteta did change a lot, or there was talk around that. It just seems like it's what Arteta started, we're making it more of a broader thing. Like, you're trying to, he's still be involved, but we're consulting with a consultancy to where other areas of improvement across all facets of the club are. And not only that, you've heard Mertesacker, Arteta, Vinay, somebody else, Edu. They've been speaking with other people within the organization at Arsenal, as in, office workers, ground staff, all that sort of stuff. So I guess it's just ingrained that the overall culture of the club from top to bottom, which I can't say I'm not happy about. You need that sort of stuff there, man. Play Odegaard right wing. He's done it before. Martinelli, Pepe, striker. But the thing is, are these lot advanced enough to do all that chopping and changing? I think with Arsenal, you got to make 2 changes max. I'd play Xhaka Lokonga in midfield. I think the best way Arsenal might score is through a jammy pen when Pepe goes one-on-one versus Rudiger. The thing is, the plan to get the ball to Sale. I think you mean Saka and Martinelli on the wings, and they'll cut in. Teams have figured this out. Trust, we don't play through central areas enough. Need to play on the counter. DG, check Twitter DM something about the hierarchy and Edu in the January transfer window. Let's see how them blood clear them as now. Let's see what all this about. What's all this about? All right, cool. We'll get into that in a sec. Big up Tino for that one. We'll get into that in a sec, man. I'm doing good, my guy. I hear you, bro. I go over back 3-2. I don't listen, it's one of them. God needs to be with us. Tavares is getting done dirty. He played okay on Saturday. Give Saka a rest or make him an impact off the bench. I feel a lot better with Saka on the pitch, if I'm completely honest with you. Tavares, like Lokonga, and to a degree, Eddie, I don't, as I said then, and I say it now, of the Southampton game, I don't think any of them were the worst players or you could criticize them. And I actually feel where Lokonga and Tavares are, they left with some sort of pride and asking questions of the other side. I'll be honest with you, our form's on the floor. Not that anyone's playing amazing, but rest and them things there is irrelevant when we need 3 points and we need to react. It'd be nice if the manager, utilized the squad, but yeah, man. Is where it is. Eddie Meady rather Pepe. They're all meaty, man. It's like a headache versus a blocked nose right now. Really and truly, this thing, like, this is dead. Pepe can rip Alonso. Not if he's on his J's. At this point, there's nothing to lose. How about a shootout, go 4-4-2 and attack them? Because our midfield pivots on the best of days aren't good enough. So, yeah, but I think they get surrounded, really. DG, do you think Chambers should have been kept and played right back? Saka left back, Ainsley Maitland-Niles replaced in part due to injury. Morata on loan in January, making the squad weaker, costing us. Again, I do advocate not bringing in people for the sake of bringing it in, but if you can't I didn't disagree with, Ainsley Maitland-Niles wanted to go. He kept doing the crying on Instagram thing, bust out. Chambers wanted to keep it moving, but at the same time, as you said, depth, it couldn't make something happen, even if it was a loan for Arthur or Morata, couldn't make it happen. Whether we wanted it or not, or anybody just using them, didn't make it happen. Sometimes it comes down to how good your relationships with other clubs, I don't know if we did it, but even if we went to Madrid and said, yo, like, well, go on for your players, you ain't making nothing happen, do you know how many players you forget are at Real Madrid? Like, literally, and they probably tried to sell any, but a lot of them said no. They said they're not selling Jovic because something might happen, Allegri was about to let Arthur go. Something couldn't pop off, and they said, you're not leaving, Bentancur and my man's going, we need someone. So that's for Arteta's not got the pressure like them lot. That's why I think he makes these decisions, if I'm honest with you. But if you can't bring in people, don't whatever. I know Arsenal fans tried to gloss over it and we're getting rid of the characters who don't want to be here and saving wages, which there are positives to that, but you can't bring on save wages to play up front, centre mid or left back. So again, I always ask because I actually was in favour of what we did in January. Not the fact of not bringing in people, especially in midfield, but I was in favour. But I asked myself the simple question: if you can't bring in, is it wise to sell? And Ainsley, Chambers, half of these guys barely would have played, but it's the same logic with El Nene. There's a luxury to know he can come in. Ainsley could have been used at left back or right back. Chambers could have been utilised as well, at least to the end of the season. You got Zhang for the Chambers thing as well. So yeah, these things could have happened. I prefer them players there not to be a thing, rather just bring in some tugs and that. But it weren't to happen, was it? So what are you gonna say, man? I'm happy with the direction, but yeah, is he gonna be the guy to pattern this? But yeah, man, or someone to take it to the next level? Pagan is just an pagan that you're just a pagan, innit? And like you're just a pagan. Like I don't know people. Help me out. It's just someone a snake, like a pagan, isn't it? Like it is what it is. Freezer must. We've got no fluidity to our game. Arteta has us so rigid. I would like to see our front four rotate during the game. Trust. To be fair though, to Mikel, the last 2 games, even though it's nothing, I have finally seen our wingers consistently swapping flanks. I would take Jesus, but yeah, man. They are meaty, but we could do with them right now. They're hella meaty, you know. But then again, back 3 Ainsley Maitland-Niles, that's how he got his England call up. And we could have done with Chambers, man. You know, Nene full of Congo. Boy. It's crazy, man. Would you start El Nene if he's somewhat fit? Why not, man? Nah, man. The cost-saving thing is BS. More to gain financially from giving yourself a better shot at Champions League than loaning out all these players. Trust. One side you could commit to, but yeah, it's the simple question: are we weaker at our task of getting top 4? Did we take an unnecessary gamble potentially, rather naive gamble potentially? Not, you know. And it's the knock-on effects. It's the knock-on effects, man. Like I said, I don't really care that certain players have left. It's who's coming in. What is the plan? You know, if you move, like even on the pitch, if you move Xhaka from centre mid and to left back, make sure there's a knock-on effect. You know, there's a positive one, and there's not something for me to sit here and talk about. That's all I care about. I can have my opinion, I can criticize or praise the manager, but it's the knock-on effect. And too often than not, there's been a negative consequence, really and truly, man. We know these certain men are not playing, man, but is what it is, man. You can save wages long term, that's going to help us and all these things, but right now it leaves us at a massive disadvantage, which is a problem. You know, the juice has run out. What can you say? So we see what's going on with Arsenal concerned in the papers. Oh, we're not even getting the rumors again. It's a shame, man. Like it's a North London derby. These are the games you should be. It's a London derby. Sorry, the games that you're most up for. Win, lose, or drawing is. Feel a bit emotionless, people. If I'm honest with you, like, you man lose. Yeah, it is what it is. Like. It's rather depressing, ain't it, man? Will it shock you if Arsenal win again? Yeah, boy, if Arsenal beat Chelsea, of course it will shock me because I can't see it. Like, I'll always support my team, but motivation on the floor, innit? Like, because they're giving me reasons. Shakes at 100%. I just wish I knew their true intentions, man, because this is new to see a manager under no pressure. Trust, like, a bit of clarity, man. I just think the only pressure Arteta is under is the pressure he puts on himself, if I'm honest. Let's see what big up to you. Know what have you sent me? My last takeaway from this window, I really want to know what the deal was with that Arthur story from Ornstein. Arteta and Edu were both aligned. The deal was done. Someone above them pulled the plug for reasons that aren't clear. Feels like the answers to our questions are there. And this is where I said I can't blame everyone has a part to play. I can't just sit here and blame the owner because there's been money spent and we haven't necessarily got more bang for our buck. You know, again, yes, we brought in some players last summer that are doing all right, but it's another summer. We still didn't bring in a midfielder. We didn't bring in a striker. We've given new deals and torn them up, brought in free transfers and tore them up. You know, I could understand if the owner said, all right, well, let's settle down. Equally, I feel sorry for Arteta and Edu if they banked on bringing in players and went to America and done all of these things and agreed in our Melo deal and it never happened and they pulled the plug. I then have to answer, ask myself, why did they? Was it too much? Was the owner just being a prick? I don't know. At the same time, Arteta and Edu, you knew the role you was walking into. You know this ain't the Ritz. This is barely McDonald's. You know you need to be fluid and adaptable. Saying we have one target, as admirable as it is in just Vlahovic, if you only, that's the guy you want, fair play. But he's not the only player in the world. You know, we're not a club that can just get one target sort of thing. You need to be adaptable. So and just off the same thing we said about the squad. So it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, man. Eventually, Edu and his opposite number at Juventus, Federico Cabrini, are understood to have aligned on an idea of the Brazilian international moving on a temporary basis until the summer of 2023, with an option to then turn the switch into a permanent transaction for around 40 million. An 18-month term would give Arsenal longer to work with a player who manager Mikel Arteta is keen to sign and enable them to buy him for lower than Juventus' current valuation if they wish so. Edu is understood to have presented this to his hierarchy, but there's still a reluctance to acquire Arthur for the longer period, and it was decided not to proceed with the proposal. And I have to ask myself, was this more of an Arteta player or an Edu player? Because it does seem like when Arteta does press ahead for a player, you know, when Arteta does press ahead for a player, he gets him in it. So I don't know, but all I know is it could be Edu, Arteta, but you're all in it together, innit? Like you all in this together. It's just crazy, man. It's absolutely brazy, man. Which, what are you gonna do, man? Motivation's on the floor, man. My motivation is on the floor. Look. Oh, sorry, people. YouTube's fucking with me today. Come on. So yeah, I don't know, man. Edu couldn't even bring Guimaraes. To be fair, I don't really get. I would have loved Bruno Guimaraes, but it's like when I look at Renato Sanchez, Bruno Guimaraes, and Hossein Aouar, as much as I would take, well, definitely two of them three names and would be ecstatic to bring them in. It just makes me feel, is there something more? Because it feels like these players, not just for Arsenal, but these players are there for the taking. Like they're there for the taking. They seem to be available, and nobody, including us, seems to be keen on it. So what's going on there? So it's a bit brazy, man. I don't really know. Allegedly, Eddie Nketiah said on his future Arsenal, there were offers for a new contract, but my goal is to play football and play regularly. That's my ambition, and that's what I hope to do. So, all right. So that's him gone. In terms of other people, apparently, you know, we've had our interest in Cody Gakpo, you know, reiterated, which, again, make of that what you will. In fact, let's start looking at some transfer news in the hope that someone will arrive, people. Hope, I said hope is a killer. It all depends what it all depends, man. Where should we start? Close that. Let's start here. Opinions on Lacker's comments. I'm personally disgusted. I've offered them, man, and I got onto him on Twitch, but frustrated. I don't think he said anything wrong, but you don't want to see it, do you, really? Especially when you're doing shit stuff and you've played a part in it. Like, it's always like you saw with Nathan Redmond, the crap players have a lot to say, man. Several big clubs, including Atletico, inquire about Saliba, long story short. Interest is hotting up in Saliba. Diego Simeone is reportedly keen on bringing him to Atletico Madrid. As you know, he joined us in 2019 and is yet to make an appearance, people. And he seems to be quite happy to do everything, people, in relation to stuff. He's been linked with Real Madrid, Inter Milan, AC Milan. I think the one good thing Arsenal did is flipping signing before any of that. So, yeah, Saliba's drawn interest. Arsenal tell club they'll bid 30 million for the new N'Golo Kante this summer. Plays nothing like Kante from what I saw. But allegedly, Brazilian journalist George Nicola has said Arsenal have told Palmeiras that they intend to hold talks with 13 million Danilo. So let's see what's going on there. I mean, we've heard it before. Looked very raw based on what I saw against Chelsea in the cup final. Not watching him on a regular basis, but he's valued. Or better yet, he's available for 13 million according to his agent. He's also a target for what European clubs got in touch to demonstrate submitting a proposal in the middle of the year. Of those 6 teams, I managed to discover 4: Arsenal, Monaco, Lille, and Marseille. Apparently, his teammate said he has to play in the Premier League. I always tell him, you have to play for Man United or Arsenal. I want him to stay with us, but that's what I see. Danilo has a future in the Premier League, so make of that what you will. Mikel Arteta reveals 3-month plan, admit Arsenal captain. I mean, I don't care about that, man. We already know he wants Odegaard. Allegedly, Arsenal are ahead of Man United for Nkunku with no Champions League football. This is what Blinder's saying, people. It is said Inter and Arsenal are both also interested, with the latter having kept tabs on the player for years, which we know back to Emre's time. They may be tempted to swoop in the summer, but could also face the same conundrum as United if they do not finish in the top 4. As it stands, Nkunku's contract at his club expires in 2024, but it's highly likely he will be shipped out for an eye-watering fee before then. He has 30 goals and an impressive 19 assists and counting, really. And you're seeing Darwin Núñez continue to bag as well. I think this just reiterates the Saliba stuff, people. So, yeah, it is what it is. To be fair, I mean, Harry is doing quite well at Marseille as well, man. Rebuilding his career. But, yeah, that's that. What we got here? Transfer news. Let's see what football.london has had to say. I see Lautaro Martinez's name. Let me sit up a bit. We know Barcelona have an interest in the individual. Allegedly, according to his agent, he won't be leaving Italy this summer. He has a 5-year deal. He feels like an Inter Madrista. Inter are the team in his heart. He feels like an extra fan on the pitch. His family are happy in Milan. So that's that. Allegedly, Arsenal are ready to invest in Martinez, though. But there's an eye-whopping 75 million price tag. So whether Arsenal can find that with no Champions League is another thing. I think that's the same thing here, people. That's the watch along. Bit of an underkill, isn't it, people? Where Arsenal are concerned, there's just really nothing. I wanted to ask you lot: is there a reality where you think Arteta, beyond the obvious, like obviously we all know a lot of people might want him to get sacked and whatnot, but is there a reality where he could underperform and keep his job? Because as I said, for myself personally, if you get top 4, I think you should get a new deal. If you 5th or 6th, I think you will get a new deal. I think we should monitor you and see what's going on next season. I don't think you should necessarily lose the job, but I definitely feel there should be question marks. And now added scrutiny needs to come on, judging you a bit more. Like they should. Your first season's gone. The gloves are supposed to be off this year, and for a while they was. But it should be that. As I said, if you don't finish, if you finish, 7th or 8th, Mikel Arteta has to go. Like you, I'm sorry, but money's been spent for all the propaganda and whatnot. It's a results-driven business. I have no doubt that Arteta's tried to move the club in his right way. He's done some good things, but we're not a development center, especially not for you. In the same way, our young players on the field have had good or bad moments. Our young, inexperienced manager has. There's been times where he's overcomplicated stuff. Times where he's kept it simple, good or bad moments. But ultimately, you could leave with your head held high. You've won an FA Cup. You've given us a decent little platform to maneuver with another manager. If that was the case, you've jumped in at the deep end, had to deal with a lot of off-field stuff at Arsenal. So you've got a lot of experience, but that's where it ends. You need to be the guy for this club. And I think if you fail to get a top 6 finish, you need to, the gaffer needs to go. The problem is there's no fallout plan. Arsenal won't go and do that. Arteta would really have to fuck up, pardon my French, before Arsenal do something. So for me, if you finish 7th or 8th, you've got to go in it. When should Arsenal consider sacking Arteta? Because again, I understand the whole concept of, who are we going to get? Who do we get if we sack him? I get it. I can't sit here and list bare names and say bare other things and whatnot. But that shouldn't be a reason to. That's not our problem for fans, Again, I don't want to keep doing the sacking things, but if something doesn't work, try something. I want Arteta to get it right. I hope this is just a bad period Do believe he's going to be a good gaffer. I don't know for Arsenal, but I do think he's going to be a good gaffer. I do think he's done a lot good. I do think he's done a lot of nonsense. The problem is, you know, he's not done it in the game where we could say, it's a Klopp thing, it's a Pep thing. There should be someone else that could do this. He's not done anything in the game, really. It's a results-driven business. And if he shows that he can't take it to the next level, then you've done well. You can leave with your head held high. You've got a lot of experience, but maybe you need to go somewhere else, learn your craft. You know, Vieira, how much did his mistakes at Nice help him do his thing for Palace? Because again, I don't want us to make Arteta to make mistakes here in vain. Ultimately, it's Arsenal Football Club. I know some people are committed to seeing Arteta fail, and some people are committed to just seeing him succeed, even though it's in the middle. But yeah, man, it's like if you fail to do it, there's a serious problem. You've been given the most freedom of anyone post Arsene Wenger. Not that there's many. You've spent money. You know, you've been given more authority off the field. You know, so the excuses are not really there. It's a bit like when people talk about strikers. I can't sit here and list a million strikers, but it's not our job. Are we really? And don't work, you try again. I don't advocate Chelsea you know, spending 90 million and getting rid of Lukaku, but if it don't work, they'll try something again. It's crazy, man. Nah, he has done a lot of good, bro. He's done a lot of good. There's been a lot of underperformance. I'm not gonna lie. He's given us a good base. He has improved young players. He has got the club and the fans all singing together and on the same hymn sheet. You know, he has. You know, he's got. This is the first time in a hot second I've been talking about top four. We'd have to go back to Emre. There has been a lot of good, but there's also been a lot of bad. Naivety in January. Not for me. The biggest problem is since you've come in here, you've not revamped the midfield at all. You know, that's a bulk of our problems. Over relied on young players, naively relied on inexperienced players that can't do it. You know, times you've needed to change things tactically, or periods you've needed to change things, you've not changed it. Times where you shouldn't change things, you've changed things. But we're all doing things where it's like there's no pressure. It's a mixed bag. So I do think he's done a lot of good. I think there's a lot of bad. Ultimately, there's been a lot of peace spent. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. I do think there's been a lot. The only reason I'm judging Arteta harshly, because if you've got all this potential, then when man are gassing up your team when we're winning, we need to ask the same questions. You spent peas. And for me, forget the spending peas. You've been allowed to make some decisions. How do I know Emre didn't want to clip Lacazette or Aubameyang or this guy or that guy? That man couldn't do that. That is your squad. Everybody, whether you've brought them in or they've been brought in previously, nobody's in that squad by mistake. Even Eddie Nketiah. You know, still, and the one thing is the players, because it's easy it's easy for people to be on your side with someone like Mesut Ozil for obvious reasons. When Aubameyang's not in form, it's very easy for that. It's very different when these guys, when your top striker is scoring 20 league goals, or that's your key player. So it's the man management, you know, very inconsistent in terms of scoring goals. I think there is a degree in terms of the build-up play, but we're still playing through wide areas too much, which again comes back to not having a midfielder. You know, no fallout plan. No, he doesn't know how to navigate when things go terrible. I think Arteta needs everything to go well for him 9 times out of 10. We don't really come back from behind. You know, obviously Lokonga, Tavares are a massive drop-off from Partey and Tierney, but there's no fallout plan to that. Other teams have had to adapt. You know, you would be made to believe Arsenal are the only team that goes through injuries and them sort of things there. Let's get over 100 likes. Appreciate you. See, let's keep banging that drum and make sure we're getting over the line there, people. We're still not quite there. 71 likes, people. Tough crowd today. Tough crowd. But yeah, man. Like, it's a mess, really. Like, our defense has improved under Arteta. Statistics might not back it up, but we have improved defensively. That's my opinion. But I can't disagree if anyone does think that there's, because some of you were waffling when we had X amount of clean sheets and this and that and the third, and Ramsdale was up there. When I was sitting there and saying we're not a good defensive side, we're an improved defensive side, just because we're thinking a tiny bit more percentage now. People wanted to fight me. People wanted to fight me for what I said about Lacazette. People wanted to fight me when I said, okay, it's great, you know, what we're doing right now. But if the goal scorer stops scoring, if Lacazette moves a bit shaky, certain things, people wanted to fight me for Pablo Mari. People wanted to fight me for Tavares. People wanted to fight me for Cedric. All right. Fair enough. I hear it. If that's what you lot are saying, fair enough. Crazy. It's very crazy, man. The way this football thing works is quite crazy, man. Where is the... Don't seem like there's anything else. Trust, even that I just saw here. You know, look, even what I just see here. Arsenal fans hating on Lacazette now. Lol, they were defending him 24/7 not too long ago. There has been offers of a new contract, but my aim is to play football and to play regularly. That's my ambition, and that's what I hope to do. So, shout out to you, Eddie NKETIAH, eh? Shout out to you. Hope you know what, for all this worth, I hope you get your move, brother. I hope you get your move. Like, I hope to God you get your move. I hope you do well, because we shouldn't be in this position. We have found ourselves in this position because we're doing dumb shit. Like, we make dickheads feel amazing. We make shit man feel good. You know, we don't make decisions. You know, Eddie should have been tied to a new deal years ago so that you can go off on loan or be sold. We're waiting to the last pivotal summer last year, and that affected Balogun going on loan. That affected us bringing in a striker. This is a lack of planning. There's too much excuses. There's not enough solutions. And it does feel like a lot of people are invested in seeing Mikel Arteta's career develop than Arsenal's. The two can go hand in hand, but I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't give a crap about if Arteta develops or not. If he does, great. But it just feels like there's too much agendas, positively and negatively, and there's an inability to just be honest. Just be honest and say there are some good moments, there are some bad moments, there are things to believe in, but there's also things to concede. And at one point, does it get too much? Like I said, if you do not get top 6, I think you should be gone. The team probably won't. They say, well, we had a young squad. They did well up until this point. They're not necessarily wrong, but it's crazy. And even Eddie NKETIAH has come out now, you know. And obviously, once again, he told the beautiful... I can't lie, I'm so happy to see, you know, shout to the boys at the Beautiful Game podcast. But I'm so happy to see all the big journalists using their interview and stuff, because it's about time that the people, the culture, got to interview these players. You know, I'm so happy to see young black guys and black girls do this thing, man. So yeah, big up them. Eddie NKETIAH said there has been offers of a new contract, but at the moment, my aim is to play football and play regularly. That's my ambition. That's what I hope to do. But at the same time, I'm at Arsenal. I love Arsenal. I'm just trying to focus on the season until May and make sure I finish that in a good way. Then I'll sit down and see what I think is the best opportunity. I'm at the stage where I've signed a contract for 5 years when I was 18. And in that 5 years, how many starts have I had here? I went on loan for 6 months and been here for the rest. And I've probably started about 30 games, maybe in all comps. I see players my age that I've played with and they kick on. And it's like, what's the difference between someone I was playing with at under 21s? Force the boat. Leave, bruv. You've had offers. You fucked up at Leeds. You were shit at you didn't go to Palace. Come on, what are you talking about? Force the boat out. Let's be honest. You're right in everything you said, but I ain't seen someone that's wanted to move. You know, you've let the promises are comfort to an idiot. The manager of this football club has been telling you, I like Eddie, I like this, I like that. How many starts have you had? How many minutes have you played? You lot see me every week go on transfer market and go with that. At some point, clearly running down your deal, seeing what's there for the market. You know, you're now not listening, because even if I was there, I'd say Arteta's full of shit. Arteta's been very specific on Eddie. He hasn't quite been for Lacazette, but you haven't got that many starts. And I'm not criticizing Eddie, Arteta for not starting you. You're not levels. It's just the words aren't matching. You know, you didn't want to. You could have pushed the leave at any point, but like you said, you love it. You're on a decent contract. You're at Arsenal. You're happy to do the phone thing every now and again. Dead. That is dead. Your age and thinking I'm an idiot. I was the captain and they're doing more. It's not even a thing of looking at them and hating them. I'm happy for them. I don't want to think you're hating, but how did they get to the point where they are feeling confident and it's through playing those games and having that experience? Then leave. For me to take that step and to get where I think I can get to, I obviously need to consider getting more minutes. Yeah, bro. You said it all. You said it all there, cuz. You said it all there. You said it all there. I'm sorry, but like these men at Arsenal right now, they're not good enough for all this consistent speculation. Like they should never like, bro, the whole year, Laka, will he get a new deal? Won't he? Eddie, will he? Won't he? Bro, you're not Bukayo Saka, you're not Martinelli, you're not Smith Rowe. Bloody hell, shit, you're not even a Bamian. Like, what is all of this? These men are meaty, you know. These men are meaty. And the thing is, the saddest thing is, Eddie's actually, for me, starting to improve. He's getting a bit better physically. There's a little more variety in his game. But come on, man. Come on. Like, it's just all reactive at this football club. Like, it's very reactive. There's no guarantee a striker's even going to arrive. And if it does, what sort of striker? Who? Big up Eddie and Ketty, because I'll be doing exactly what you're doing, but it's a myth, man. It's stuff like this that jars me, man. The bar's on the floor. The bar's been on the floor, and it's not going to get picked up, is it? It's on the floor. And for... I don't know if these interviews have been sanctioned or what, but, you know, people are looking at you. If I was Arteta, I'm looking at Eddie and saying, boy, why are you doing the chattings? If I'm like I said, why are you doing the chattings? Why are you talking? Now I have to, you know, I don't doubt Lacazette or Eddie and Nketiah's professionalism, but they're clearly, I mean, you're right to think about moves, but Lacazette's basically said, I don't know about you, man, but I'm playing Champions League. My agent's doing this and that. Eddie's already starting to think about starts and things like that. So even though I don't doubt these lots' commitment, and I do think you can be considering your future, wanting to move and still give your all. If I play devil's advocate now, as I said on Twitch, we've all been at jobs where you might, you know, you've got a new job, but you have to see out your notice period or your gardening leave, and it might be a month. Subconsciously, you stop, like, even if you still try and do a thing, subconsciously you stop doing what you're doing. You get them little thoughts. I'm not gonna be here. I don't care. Or if this guy chats something to me, or this guy or girl said something to me, I'm gonna get mad because I don't have to do any of that no more. Is it any disillusion to think that these same thoughts? Now, I would think maybe you lot should play out of your skin because you'd have more of a choice to pick from. But if your move's halfway sorted, I can't imagine Crystal Palace and all these teams that Eddie was linked with aren't going to ask again. As poor as I think Lacazette is, Barca, Atletico, these teams have been linked with teams in Turkey, etc., etc. You know, I can't blame them for angling moves, but you have to wonder the commitment at the club. You know, Granit Xhaka, you know, always linked with Italy. Now, I'm just throwing that one out there. Half of these players, you know, everyone's got to be thinking things. I don't know what's going on, man. It's crazy, man. Eddie's not good enough. Eddie's not good enough. Like, I'm sorry. Eddie's not good enough. Like, some men are just not good enough. Like, he might be good. He's only 22. He's nowhere near his peak and things like that. But he's not levels yet. Like, he's not. I'm sorry. You need to go somewhere else. Like, I hate to do this, but you've played 14 times in the league this season. 256 minutes. That's not played too many times, you know. You got 90 minutes against Southampton, which is probably the first time ever in your career in the league at our club, and the first time this season. Other than that, Eddie's minutes this season, sorry, I can show you, look, I'm not making things up. You're seeing it with, man. Premier League, obviously, he's got 5 goals. He's played 21 times this season, 20 if you discount this League 2, which is 23s. Cup King, as we know, 5 in 5, hat-trick and that. More hat-tricks for this club than 52 million Lacazette. He's not even championship level yet because you got 3 goals. You need to go and play regular football. The minute Joe Willock was in your book, he went and played regular football. There was a time Joe Willock, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Eddie and Nketiah, they were all in the same boat. Smith Rowe took himself up to Yorkshire, done his thing at Huddersfield. Joe Willock, the manager was saying, stay, went Newcastle, got his move, doing his thing now. Reece Nelson struggling, you know, playing catch-up. Eddie struggling, playing catch-up. Even them other men are playing catch-up. How good would Smith Rowe be if he got exposed to certain other variables, etc., etc.? It's not just about going on loan, but minutes. And as much as I have to criticize the club, I'll be real. If my son's ever a professional footballer, at the age of 18, you got to be selfish. Fuck all the club shit. Fuck what they tell you. You got to be selfish and loyal to your thing. That's what you've got to do. you know. And I hope when we look at someone like Balogun, we learn from our mistakes, which I think we've done, because he's gone on loan now. You know, not setting the world alight at Middlesbrough, but playing rather than bagging against the random cup games, playing nobodies and doing these silly little phone celebrations. You know, Eddie's got ability, but you need to go out and play. Look, people, 90 minutes, 28 the week before. He's got 28, 24, 12, 10, 2, 10, 14, 6, 9, 13, 8, 19, 11. Now, he's on the bench a couple times and he's been injured, but this A-levels, 52 Premier League appearances, barely 90 minutes, but 52 Premier League appearances, 5 goals scored, 85 appearances for Arsenal Football Club now. You can leave with your head held high. That's enough. You've come from our academy. You've played 52 times in the Premier League. You've technically won an FA Cup. You've played 85 times for this football club. You've scored a goal. There's a success story in that. But this is where I'm getting onto Arsenal, because we should be making money on this guy. If he signs for a British club, we'll get some peanuts because he's underage and that. But this is what we need to be doing. Not everyone's going to develop. And at some point, you've got to take responsibility for your own career. Your own career is like this for yourself, Eddie. You're a big boy. You're 22 years of age. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, you're a big boy as well. At some point, all of these guys have to take responsibility for their careers. Fuck what Arsenal's telling you. Go out and seize it. This is the big wide world now. And I know it's difficult. Man's been at Arsenal. I want to play for Arsenal. All these things, but it's dead. It's dead. You're 23 now, soon. Well, next month, you're 23, brother. You're still young, but it's now time to go and do it. And what I would say, Harry Kane, Jamie Vardy, Aubameyang, where were they at 23? Now, one was signed by Spurs. Aubameyang was playing in Europe. I don't know where Jamie Vardy is. But my point being, I'm not saying that he's going to be levels like that, but you're still young. But you need to go and play. Minutes are currency. You're not playing week in, week out. You're not having to deal with them, the fitness levels being consistent, you know, all of those things, playing against grown individuals week in, week out. You're playing catch up. And this is the difference between us and Chelsea, because Eddie might not ever break through at Chelsea. They would have put my man on some sort of plan that he's going to make money or he'd be a lot better than this. So it's down to him. It's down to him. But at some point, you've got to blame yourself. You can't just keep blaming the club. Promises are comfort to idiot. I don't begrudge Arteta for telling him, yeah, bro, you're going to play, fam. Trust me. Same with Ainsley Maitland-Niles at the time. He's going to, even with Balogun, he's going to tell you everything under the sun because they want you to stay or whatever they're doing. That's cool. I don't begrudge Arteta for that. But this is where you lot have to be sensible. And I get it. It must, it must be nice. Bro, man's playing for Arsenal Football Club, rubbing shoulders with international ballers. I'm sure it sounds lit being at Arsenal, and obviously Arsenal and England youth player. I'm sure there comes some endorsements with that. I'm sure, but dead. David James saying Arsenal should get Haaland. He's getting paid 500 bags a week at City allegedly. Come on now. It's not making sense. What a club, man. What a club. Boy. So yeah, man, I don't begrudge Eddie, but like this, I should be an agent. I can't lie, man. Seize your career, man. Look at someone like Brooke Norton-Cuffy. Yo, bro, I'll need to go and play first team football. Going out there and doing it. Look at there's plenty of others. Look at Yunus Musa, who is a bit different. Wanted him to stay at Arsenal. Valencia sat there, and I genuinely feel Yunus Musa would be where Bukayo Saka is. And what I mean by that is you'd have been a first team player by the time you touch 18. He sat there and said, yo, man, love Arsenal. Valencia is saying man can do this and that. Bust out. Look where he is. Once you get to 18, for me, that's where the promises stop. You need to seize your own career. And your career, when a couple of the Arsenal young players, you've only got yourselves to blame. People are going to tell you everything under the sun. I would lie to you lot. I would consistently tell Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Ainsley Maitland-Niles lies upon lies upon lies upon lies if I was the manager. Pardon me. The difference with me, and it's easy for me, I would have gassed Eddie Nketiah. I'm telling you, if I was manager, which I'm not, he would have had a 5-year deal time ago, because the way I would have gassed him, the way I would have lied to him, the way you'd be on loan right now, the way we'd be in this situation, you say, I'm unhappy. I say, well, you'd be unhappy. You're signed on the 5 years, mate. Scream and shout. Get on a blow to your agent, fella. Go and sort that out. You get me? Rather than waiting to the summer. I don't begrudge that. But for Arsenal, it's a lack of productivity. And you know me, on the best of days, I'm passionate about youth development, the academy. But in terms of making money, not everyone should be making, not everyone's going to make it. Tyrese, John Jules, Eddie Nketiah, Balogun, I've been saying it years ago before they even touched it. I think they've all got potential to reach the first team, but we need to get into a scenario where these lot make peas for the team. Mika Berev, Charlie Patton, Amari Hutchinson, give them all the components to thrive in our first team. But if it's not looking like adapting, money, and more money. Like, it is what it is, man. And I don't begrudge Eddie, because now you know, we all knew you was gonna run down your deal for the club. Learn from it, because some little German team is gonna take Eddie and Nketiah, as I would sit there and go, yo, them British man, there's peas there, you know. If we grab Eddie for a year or two, it doesn't matter if he develops or not. He stays here for a year or two, we'll make some peas. We'll have to see, man. If I'm Fulham, depending on the compensation packages, if I'm Fulham or Crystal Palace, I might be asking for Eddie and Nketiah. Because of their resale value. I don't know. Anyways, man, let me scroll up. I'm a passionate rant over, man. We need to spend big consistently, DJ. Our fans say we spent 150 million on 5 players, and that's a lot. But City, United, and Chelsea spend more like 100 M's on a single player. There's context there. Of course, there is context there, but it's about spending on the right players, man. Because if spending money, let's be honest, if spending money was the issue, the sole issue, Arsenal would be back already. You know, we'd be back. We spent 72 million on someone, and I'm being unfair, but 72 million, 35, 40 million on the centre back, 52 million on the striker, you know, gave big wages to certain players and tore them up. It's spending correctly. I would love to sit here and say we can buy all the stars and that. We're not in a position to. But if you buy the right players, it's calm. Liverpool have got to a stage where, I don't know, financially, they might be able to go and brag a mad player for 90 million or so. But forgive me if I'm wrong, it's excluding Alisson and the Premier League tax they had to pay for Van Dijk because they're buying him from Southampton. Everyone they've grabbed hasn't been world renowned at that point. People were saying, obviously, people that were watching Italian league, you could see Fiorentina, Salah was starting to develop, but they took a chance on Salah. They brought, Diaz was getting a name in Portugal. They bust him. Firmino was doing his thing in Germany. They bought him. People used to look down their nose at Mane at Southampton. They didn't. Robertson was at Hull, grabbed him, Trent's come from their academy, obviously that's a once in a while sort of thing. Not too many people are going to come true like that, but you get the point. Joe Gomez was there at Charlton, only now you really see in Liverpool, for me, Konate 50 odd, 90, including the Diaz one. They've done it correctly. So it's about buying the right players, buying the Jota. He's not amazing, but he's fitted in well there and got 15, 16 goals in the league. It's about identifying the right players, the right system. Because again, you look at Liverpool, why is it? I would say probably maybe Keita. And because it took a while for Konate to start playing, maybe development in that. Half the time when Liverpool sign someone, if you never knew football, you'd think they've been there for years. Even guys like Tomiskas, you don't know that they bought him. You don't know that Jota and Diaz were bought recently. They look like they've been there for 10 years. And that comes down to elite talent ID, the manager and whoever he's working with looking at people and saying, that's what I want. And also, you can evidently see areas of improvement. One thing I think when you look at Raheem Sterling's talk over, when he talks about Pep's development, there was actually a good interview with Alexis Sanchez. You remember the year he was playing number 9 for us? And obviously, Salah with Klopp, and actually Rashford with Van Gaal, which he clearly didn't listen. But specifically to Salah and all them other names I said, there's been similar ones. But Salah was talking about, and actually Klopp is like, when we bought him, he was scoring goals, he was doing these things, but there was weaknesses in his game. I sat him down and I said, listen, you look at the percentage. I can't remember it, but he said something about, long story short, you need to be closer to the goal in it. That you're on the byline too much. You need to be in the half space. My man listened. Salah's got, as much as he's taken the last few weeks off, he's got 20 league goals. So my point being, don't just, you always hear me say it, don't just tell me a player's strengths. They need to know their weaknesses. How are you going to take them to the next level? Completely different. But Fabio Carvalho that they're getting, Liverpool are getting, he's not the finished article. He's not, or respectfully, he wouldn't be at Fulham. So they need to know how they're improving, man. That's what we need to do. I actually think Liverpool's a better example than City. Of course, who wouldn't want to be City? But Liverpool's a better example of working with resources and actually having the right talent ID. Klopp's talent ID is amazing, but he wanted Julian Brandt. Michael Edwards said, no, there's Salah, and he still worked with it. That's why going back to Emre's time, and I would have loved for him to get the player he wanted in Zaha, but you can't get Zaha. You didn't get Zaha. You got Pepe. You can't really. You still have to be able to work it in. So it is what it is in that regards. I mean, we all want exotic, big game players. I just want the right players, man. You know, get the right players, the competent players. Then you start developing, you start doing better. The rest will fall into place via qualifying for the Champions League, via having more money to spend because of that and whatnot. I'm Arteta in, but if we don't get top 6, he has to go. Love him, but we need to keep standards. Trust. I wouldn't say Eddie Nketiah has been somewhat the bigger disappointment. I think Appon was more of a disappointment than him, but I hear that. Flat track bully certain man. That's my point. Lots of people have an agenda for him to succeed, but he has so much ego that he uses young players as an excuse. Every manager's got ego. You need an ego. You see it come out with Klopp all the time. It's just you need balance. I like Rich. Arteta bringing in culture specialists just shows me he's lost them in the dressing room. To be fair, is not him bringing them in, and it's more a case of the whole club, like not even necessarily just playing football, the whole club, even down to flipping walking in the club shop. It's adapting. Eddie got enough chances to show he deserves to start. He never took them. Arteta and his team have done more good than bad. Top 4 is not over until it's over. It's a mixed bag, man. Mixed bag for me. There's plenty of good. There's bag is answering the question. He's done kind of what I wanted Emre to do in that there's a base to work with now. It's like there's a, you know, you've leveled out the flooring sort of thing. I'm not one for excuses. I get that things have to build up, but the standards have dropped. It looks like they won't return. And there's no balance. Arsenal fans' standards are on the floor. It's two extremes. You know, man, start talking about we should be challenging for things. People then start talking about, top 6 was the aim, where it's in the middle. You know, I do think we make excuses where there's none. And I do think we're harsh where you need to have a bit more sympathy. It's a mixed bag. Where would Eddie get a better chance than Arsenal? He needs to keep it moving, bro. I badly hope Reece Nelson becomes a squad player, but at the same time, you need to be a bit proactive. Go somewhere where you're going to play consistently, settle down roots and things like that. Lacazette, Eddie, El Nene are leaving this June. We're most likely not to keep our long players like Bellerin, Torreira. Our fringe squad will be thinner. How many players are we expecting to bring in? Not a clue, bro. But Arteta has said he would like a squad of 22 players. So I think that's that. I don't think we're going to get rid of all the loan players, which is concerning because a bag of them are contracted until 2023. I'm not no transfer man, but it seems like at a loss, but it seems like we'll have no problem selling Lucas Torreira. Where the boys that have gone in Jan, the boys that have gone in the summer, it's a bit harsh because a couple of them could have been used, but it seems like Torreira's having a good spell in Italy. You should be able to get that one done. Guendouzi's gone. Mavropanos is technically gone. That's probably 3 out the door. I think you should be able to sell Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but Ainsley, Leno, Nelson, Bellerin. There's bare names I'm forgetting. We're going to have to see. Bellerin, I'm keen to see what's going on there with Betis. We're probably going to have to take a hit on a number of these players, man. That's a bit harsh. I want to say Lacazette championship level. Right now he is. Let's say we get slapped in these next 2 matches. You think that's enough for Arteta to be put under some serious pressure? I mean, he should be under pressure now, really, because, again, even if we forget top 4 and talk about top 6, it's not an assurance. You know, we haven't made any distance on our opponents. If you don't get top 6, then I think you have to go. There's no excuse. There's no way we can get 8th or 7th. And despite the season we've had or not had, I don't feel you can. There's no way of spinning it. Like, there's no way of spinning it. You get top 6, fair enough. That's where we're supposed to. Top 4, give him his new deal. You finish 7th, 8th, it's a myth. Simple as that, like. But the board won't, man. Don't know what this guy said. Sensible comments. Could Arsenal afford Mbappe? I hope so. It's about me trying to look at. It's about as useful as me trying to look at a Rolly, boy. Like, if you're saying that. I'm not sure I could put in 100% shift all the time if Arteta was my boss. It's true, but that's why I look at the players, bro. For me, I know it's difficult, but first and foremost, you're representing yourself. That's why you always hear me say things. You're letting yourself down. Forget the club, forget the fans, forget the gaffer, forget your teammates. Every time you go out there, it says about you. And I don't know about anyone, but I'm prideful in it. Like, I don't want to be a dickhead. Like, if I know I've let myself down in any incident, I can't go to sleep because my conscience, the feeling of regret, they're two things in life that can't leave you, innit? And I don't think people are playing for themselves. So if you're not playing for yourself, even if you could keep playing for yourself, could extend to getting a move away. If you're not playing for yourself, if I'm not playing for myself, I can't play for you. I can't play for the club. I can't play for the fans who, yeah, we're under one common band of being attracted to Arsenal, but are strangers. It's not going to work. DJ, if you as our manager, our players wouldn't look so lost. I wouldn't say that because some of these defeats, you lot wouldn't even get drinking water. You think you Southampton, again, I'm becoming a bit of them top red sort of fans, but I can't lie. There was one bit that annoyed me at Southampton. It's like our players were not running, they weren't moving, and there was a water break. I saw bear, man. Do you know how quickly I saw numbers join the attack to get to the water bottle? I've never seen Arsenal, man, move that fast in the last few games. You don't need no water. You don't need water. Water and food is for people putting in the shift. You don't need that. You don't need that. Going crazy. I remember once in Sunday League, big up Darren. I remember once we put in a disgraceful performance, and I remember being knackered after the game. He's like, "We're going on shuttle runs," and he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, I'm like, "We all said we're tired." He's like, "No, you might are not tired, bro. You're not tired if you played like that," and it's true. Like, good morning, DG. Arteta will pick the same team like Southampton. In his head, he thinks we won the last basketball game. I can't lie. Big up Arteta, but oh man, that basketball thing. I got the example, but it was brazy. Exactly. And that's my point. One person can't take. If Klopp had his way, Salah wouldn't be at Liverpool and he wouldn't play his own part. So you need a collaborative thing. And the difference is them men are experienced as well. Darwin will be perfect for Arsenal. Crazy, man. To be fair, we've all got player development things. I mean, you're right. Identifying players for Arsenal, for me, it doesn't seem like a problem. It's just sitting on your hands for whatever reason. And it just feels like there's this great big story. Like, it always starts with there's massive propaganda around the player. Like, we're linked with a bunch of them. And I think you saw that in Vlahovic. You've seen it with Aouar. You've seen it with Thomas Lemar. Every player, like, we're linked with Buendia. We're linked with bare players. And then it just becomes one. And for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you start hearing we know his agent, we've talked, we've done this, we've done that, we've done the third, blah, blah, blah. And then, Szoboszlai, and then it comes out there's concerns or some big conspiracy reason as to why Arsenal have moved away from the player, in that you never find out what's going on. I don't think Arteta's lost the dressing room. And if he has lost the dressing room, I'm looking at these players very funny because you lot are looking for excuses. Again, how many of you, regardless of the gaffer, can say you're giving it your all in the last few games? How many of you can say you really put a shift in? And not too many of you. Respectfully, Lokonga, Tavares, Eddie, and NKETIAH, I think they were three of the better players against Southampton. If I'm honest, if these three are playing better than you, you ain't done nothing. If you point a finger, there's numerous points. Look, I'm pointing my finger. There's about 3 and a thumb technically pointing back at me. So if we all use that logic in life, before we go around blaming people for stuff, if we ask ourselves internal questions and then others, we'll all be in a better place. To be fair, everyone is improving experience in complex. It's lit up, bro. I can accept inconsistency. It's just the way man are playing. It's too easy to take 3 points. I don't advocate losing, but if you lost these last 3 games, like how you lost to City, where you gave it your all, it weren't enough. Cool. There's things we could have improved in that game. Should be marking Kevin De Bruyne. I think it's Laporte and Rodri, Ben White and Holding have lost the battle. I can sit here and say, all right, cool, we can do better there. But Southampton, Crystal Palace, Brighton, shout out to them, shout out to their gaffers, shout out to their players, shout out to their fans. We gave them the points. They can't be held accountable for that, but I can praise them. And then, like I said, the simple question, did we give our all? No. I don't think people went out there to do BS, but yeah, man. Man said the turn to be to grave Sudas. Probably. Might be needed, bro. Might be needed. Trust, for a team that's self-sustainable, we're doing bullshit, man. Working while fasting and having DG analyzing our shambolic team on the headphones. Keep up. Shout out to you, Ramadan Mubarak. Shout out to everyone fasting. By God's grace, it's easier, man, on you guys. Cause I know it's difficult, especially if you're in the UK. Like, it's hot on the best of days. It's crazy, man. Like, shout out to Mo. When I did my stream with Mo, I was drinking water and he was like, yo, I was doing the garden. But yeah, man, we don't have the imagination. And what I don't like is, one thing I liked about Wenger, he had his system, and most managers, like Pep as well, you got your system, you plan everything, but then you have to have that percentage or that degree or that area for players to just, not everything can be structured. They just need to do their own thing and, you know, and develop together. I don't feel we've got that positive randomness, especially in the final third, where it can't be too structured. Obviously, there's certain runs you can make, certain passes, certain areas you can exploit, but it's just a bit too coordinated. Now, when you add in that we don't play through central areas, we haven't got two technicians up, we haven't got a technician up front, specialists up front, better yet, and then technical number 8. And on top of all the other issues that you've spoken about, I've spoken about, you feel, I feel, any coincidence, we're here. And which I keep saying, we're a mixed bag, we're a mixed team, we're a mixed bag. That's why some periods we look better than others. You know, this ain't the first time this season we've gone through 3 losses. Wouldn't surprise me, and in fact it would. I hope to God, you know, we go on a winning run. I don't know. It is what it is. Obviously, people, at 2:30, I'm going to be on Twitch with Matisse. Unfortunately, we're going to be previewing Chelsea versus Arsenal. I say unfortunate. I'd rather not be doing that for obvious reasons. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Where's Tomiyasu? Trust. Hey, Denny, you're moving mad. Shout out to you, though. You're moving mad. You're moving mad. Spamming, bro, we're spamming crosses. Like, that was jarring me against Southampton as well, yeah, because I didn't get it. Like, there's 2 men in the box. They're playing a 5 at the back. They've already got a considerable height advantage. And we're just doing the crossing team. All right. Exactly. It does. It does. But when you've got inconsistent young players and most importantly, meaty players, and the manager's signing off on that, you know, like, you've made your bed, you got to accept it for whatever reason, you know, whether we tried to get a striker in, whatever. Past some point, everybody at this football club, whether you're the technical director, the manager, or the owner, everyone has to take blame for if we're not scoring goals, and or nonsense is going on with our strikers, or even though it's not everything as a part to not getting top 4. January, everyone's made their bed. We made our bed. You know, we made our bed. We gambled. It was working. But if the sun shines, rain's coming. If it rains, sunshine's coming. And you can look at our season. We've had rays of sunshine and rays of negativity. I hope the sunshine comes, and Chelsea United victory this week would be great. But it's crazy, man. Factory default. To be fair, Arteta's come a long way from that Wolves game where we was doing bad crosses and shit. So we've come a long way. But yeah, man. You don't have a target like to cross. I'd rather you pour in crosses with Martinelli up front, because for someone who's not the biggest pause, you know, he gets up and tries to do something. Like I said, not interested in heading. And you're right. But it's about the thinking, and these players have to. Sometimes I feel the players don't figure things out by themselves. We all know once we concede first, it's game over. Trust, with the exception of Wolves. I'm shouting 5 at the back against Chelsea. Bring Holdinho in. Just hope we don't get done like Southampton. Amen. Bare amens. You're right, still. It's scary, man. It's just crazy, man. We're crossing when Dons can't even get in. Crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Scary, really. It's scary because, I mean, not be funny, the technical director sees them in training, the manager sees them in training. You lot have wanted a striker for time. Like, there's so many things, man. Big up the New Zealanders. Big up from New Zealand. DG. People, look at what Eddie Howe's done at Newcastle. Bro, big up Newcastle, bro. Eddie Howe, I wouldn't say manager of the year, but he's in there with a shout. Him, Vieira, obviously Pep, Klopp, depending on what happens there, they need to be thrown in there. If Arteta manages to get top 4, I'll throw him in there as well. But yeah, man, it was all smiles 3 weeks ago, man. April's been a shit month. It looks like Ireland's going to see. April's been a tired month, bro. I can't lie. Pepe is normally one of the best players for Arsenal in the second half of the season. And yeah, man, might as well dash him in. What have you got to lose? Seriously, you ain't got nothing to lose dashing these guys in now at this point. Not a damn thing. Absolutely crazy. Exactly. Is it any? I know Chris Wood ain't doing much, pause, but they brought in a striker. Bruno Guimaraes scored 2 goals for them. You know, Spurs brought people in. And the thing is, I can't lie, going back to the summer, bro, you knew this was not levels. Obviously, probably couldn't predict the Aubameyang thing, but on the best of days, we know we have to move on from our over-reliance on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Arsenal only want to replace problems when it gets there. Let's be honest, had Aubameyang not had the attitude problem thing, we'd still be talking about that. Rightly so, I think Arteta was standing behind him. It's only whatever's happened between them has just made it where it needs to get rid of him. You know, that's the only reason. We still needed a striker. We would not have done nothing in the summer, in January. Maybe that could have made our job easier, but I don't know. Manager of the month curse. Trust me, that manager of the month curse. From Nuno Espirito Santo won that. I have to stay clear of that, man. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. I'll always have faith in my team. I'll always back my team, but I'm not an idiot. Like tomorrow, the fans home and away always make bare noise. Even when you got battered in the last game, fans then were making noise. But it's time for the players to show us something, man. There's every reason to think, and probably will happen, you're going to get smacked against Chelsea. You probably have no chance. But if there's one reason, you've got to stick to that. And I just need to see accountability. I don't see too many people leave it all the way there. All I ask is that you try your hardest, you know. Yo, people wanted to fight me, bro. Some of the trying to convince you lot that don't overcompensate on Lacazette's other assets. Unai Emery's unbeaten run. Whether I speak positively or negatively about Arteta, there's so many things, man, and it's nothing to do with being righteous. I love you guys, so I'll never lie to you. I always put my hand up if I'm wrong, but some of these things I told you were coming. I told you, man can't do bringing on safe wages when we need a goal. Trust, man, disappointed. For me, it's just a lack of fight. It's really hard for me to accept that because in life, you've got to fight for everything. No one's going to give you something. So when I see people just embarrassing themselves, and again, I always say it, you're letting yourselves down. Whatever narrative, you've heard me say it before, whatever narratives you lot want to write, you'll write. You lot don't badly want top 4 enough or you wouldn't do certain things. This is what I'm saying. Well, money helps, but yeah, you know, the spine of the squad at Newcastle. You brought in some centre mids, some defenders, and a forward. You're doing better, even though Chris Wood ain't setting the world alight. Like, is it any coincidence? Bringing in people that you need, and you're doing a lot better. It's crazy how football works, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. And what I want to know is, has Lacazette, is it a disagreement thing or is it something else? Now Arsenal fans are doing, if we had Vlahovic, we would have won certain games. Shut up, man. Because even signing a striker is half the problem. There's no guarantee that any striker walks in, we're going to score. Like, if you're a striker looking at this team, does this look like a team you're going to cook in? Oh, Lacazette's probably checked out. You just shit. I don't know if Laka will start. You'd have to see. Arteta can't do the bravado thing now because you won't have any more players left. It's crazy, man. Just not left. You're not asked to score goals. We spoke about it on Twitch, and I will re-upload this. But when Lacazette signed for Arsenal Football Club, This is his comments. I am going to try to score lots of goals. No, I'm going to score. I am going to score goals at key times in games where the team may have struggled in previous years. This season, well, this was at the time. This season, I'm going to help this team win them, and that's what Arsenal have to do: win games and trophies. As a number 9, I have to be there to score goals. Help my teammates, but above all, it's about scoring goals. There are games where the striker will be useful for the team in terms of creating space and being involved in the game without necessarily scoring, but he'll have played an important role for the team. But of course, over the course of a season, I have to score goals, as that's what statistics reflect. I mean, from the horse's mouth there, ain't it? Hey, I don't know what to tell you, look. But what I'm going to say, though, on that note, people, don't forget, I'm going to go have lunch quickly. I'm going to flip in, go have lunch. 2:30, I'm live with Matisse. That's going to be on Twitch. It will be re-uploaded to YouTube, but catch it in the flesh, man. We'd love your opinions and things. Make sure you're there for that one. Don't forget, later today, folks, Liverpool versus Man United. Hit the like button. That's going to be on Twitch and YouTube. Even if you're not there, hit the like button on them videos there and this one. Let's drive the engagements and help the growth. And don't forget, Wednesday, it's Arsenal versus Chelsea, in it. So yeah, make sure you're there. Content, and more content, man. It's been, man said, Lacquer with the waffle. Matisse/DG again. Come on, G1. Lip service. And you're right, he doesn't adapt. But yeah, man, that's that, in it, really. And tomorrow we'll deal with what needs to be dealt with. As usual, I appreciate you lot's support. And yeah, man, we'll back up again.
There's always just that actual red line defending.
I think it's like